The daughter tells you the patient always loved to eat. The patient won't routinely open her mouth for the spoon. Food has to be forced between her lips, and it's almost impossible to tell when the patient has swallowed. In an hour and a half, the patient may take 15 bites and a few sips. She has had an MBS, which was inconclusive due to this behavior, but did not show any aspiration on the few swallows of liquid which were poured into her mouth. So that's the profile. And this is common, okay? Very common profile. So the physician talks to you because she's concerned that the patient is losing weight and is experiencing some skin breakdown related to poor nutrition. She wants to know your recommendations. What the heck are you going to do? What are you going to recommend? I mean, this is hard. I'm not saying that there's a good answer to this. Anybody have some thoughts? Nobody has a single thought? Just try it. Let's try and have a little conversation about this.
Would you start by recommending a calorie count to see if she's
Calorie count's a good idea. Let's see how many calories she's getting. Least restrictive diet.
Might have to suggest a tube, but she might not want that. Just because, well, I mean, at least until she can get a little bit more nutrition, because clearly she's not getting enough in her. She's having some skin breaking out, so maybe it's not like that heals and then you can like talk to her about it, but
This is such a tough situation, right? The problem with putting a peg tube, so you can try the energy tube. The problem with the tube, particularly the peg tube, is patients with advanced dysphagia, or advanced dementia, sorry. Tubes will, there's an article, a great article, again I use that advanced dysphagia because we have a talk about end-of-life issues. Maybe help patients live up to another 6 months, but that's about it. So you've really got a conundrum here. Somebody else raise their hand.
What if you could do it too, but also since she does love to eat, you could give her that pleasurable side effect of eating?
Yeah.
And give her some
I mean, this is super tough because if you do the tube, you're never going to get that tube out. Okay? So once you've put that peg tube in and you've gone with giving an alternate form of nutrition, removing the tube is going to be depends, but you know, if everybody's on the same page or not, but it's very hard to get the tube removed. So you're probably because of her advanced stage dementia, and you're probably not going to suggest a tube. There are some things they can do with the beds, you know, to try and help with not having the patient get as much skin breakdown. But this is a patient where you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that's going to be the decision made with the daughter, is do you put the tube in, or do you go do like palliative care, hospice type care? I think you're really down to that situation with a patient like this. You don't have to have the, you know, there was no aspiration on the MBS, so the daughter can still go ahead and feed the patient the liquids if she wants to. Or for that matter, if you are going to go the palliative care route and the daughter wants to feed her more than liquids, you're probably not even going to stop that, right? This is a lady who's really declining rapidly and is in the very last months of her life. So you're going to probably breast wound care without us having to put a peg. Now, if the daughter wants a peg, and some people do, Lucinda and I were just talking about this yesterday, because we both have family members that we're responsible for, and we anticipate this decision going to be ours soon. And she had a friend who did put a peg in her mom, and the mom lasted close to another 6 months or something. So there's no good solution to this one, but I guess I would talk to the doctor about talking to the daughter about, do you want to go the peg route? Do you want to not do the peg and go to a palliative care type model where we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that we address the skin breakdown, that mom is not in pain, and that daughter can go ahead and give mom trials and such of foods that she thinks mom might enjoy and help her quality of life. And you're kind of in that zone with this person. The next question is, in the course of your discussion with the daughter, she asks, if it were your mother, what would you do? So, this happens all the time. I can't tell you how often it happens that a family member says, well, what would you do if it was you? I had somebody call me yesterday, a family member, whose family member wants to get a gun. She's like, well, I don't really want him to have a gun. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, you might want to talk to your PCP about this. I said, I don't really think this is a decision I can make for y'all, right? So what would you do? I mean, this isn't as bad as a gun, but I mean, they'll call you for, and that's a good example, right? She's calling me. Is it okay for him to have a gun? I'm like, that's not a question for the speech therapist. Yeah. I mean, legally, is it okay for him to have a gun? Probably. I didn't say this to her, but probably, right? Is it wise for him to have a gun? His right hand shakes. Like, I don't know. Really? Is it that wise? So, but anyway, so you get these questions all the time. People ask you. So what are you going to say? How do you respond when daughter says, well, what would you do if it was your mom?
I would just sit down and say, here are your options, A, B, C,
Yeah.
and I'll help you make a decision, but for you, you're going to make a decision, here are your choices.
Here are your choices. So that's kind of the right way to go about it, right? You can say, it's not my situation, so it's really hard. Sometimes I just say, so it's really hard for me to project what I would do because I think it's completely different when somebody's in the situation, and that everybody's situations have different variables that play into what the best decision is for your family, right? And here are some options, or here are the options as I see them, and I've discussed them with your physician, and he or she would be the best one for you to talk to and ultimately decide what the right thing is for you to do. Okay? That's kind of how, because even if I had made this decision, which I anticipate, within the next few years I will have to, I'll make that decision with my family members, and we'll decide what we think is best for my mother, given whatever the situation is going to be at the time, although we've already discussed it, and we probably know what we're going to do. But that might not be the same thing as what one of you guys would decide to do. And I think making those decisions, when you're in it is totally different than when you're outside of it and projecting.